Hello, friends. Many of us have heard the famous writer Paulo Coelho say, "When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. You just have to want it badly enough." And that was the case for a family from Oklahoma who were so desperate to hear children's laughter in their home that they weren't even afraid to adopt triplets. 8 months later, they were in for an amazing surprise. The young couple from Tulsa, Andy and Sarah Justice, met in college and immediately realized that they couldn't live without one another. Andy was already in his senior year and Sarah was only a sophomore. So they dated until she graduated from college and planned their wedding in the meantime, dreaming of a big and happy family. But after they got married, it turned out that Sarah had health problems. After 3.5 years, it became clear that Sarah could only get pregnant through artificial insemination. But the truth was that the doctors immediately warned the couple that even in this case, Sarah's chances of becoming a mother were no more than 10%. And the cost of such a procedure was over $60,000. The young family didn't have that kind of money, and their insurance didn't cover this procedure. Therefore, realizing artificial insemination only gave them a 1 in 10 chance of success, Andy and Sarah decided to adopt a newborn child. The American adoption system allows the adoptive parents to get in touch with pregnant women who are planning to put their baby up for adoption. Thus, the newborn baby goes home with its adoptive parents right from the hospital. So the couple met with 3 women. But at the last moment, each of the expecting mothers decided not to give up their baby without explaining their reasons. But since the law is always on the side of the biological mother, the Justice family had to start a new search every time. And finally, one woman firmly promised that she was ready to give up motherhood. But she also demanded guarantees from the couple to make sure that they wouldn't back out at the last moment. Andy and Sarah were willing to go to any lengths to become parents. But it's hard to even imagine their surprise after the ultrasound they went to with the birth mother. It turned out that the woman wasn't pregnant with just one baby, but was actually having triplets. She was most likely worried that the young couple wouldn't be willing to adopt so many babies, which is why she asked for additional guarantees from them. But the news actually made Andy and Sarah happy because they dreamed of having a big family. After the triplets, 2 girls and a boy were born, they were immediately placed in the NICU. Unfortunately, the mother couldn't carry them to term, so they were born premature, but completely healthy. This turn of events worried the new parents, who had already prepared a nursery for the babies. Sarah was especially anxious. For some reason, she'd become very nervous and irritable lately. Andy thought it was due to the fact that his wife was worried over the responsibility they were about to take upon themselves. After all, he wasn't completely calm either. Can you imagine getting 3 babies at once? So one day, while the couple was visiting Elizabeth, Hannah, and Joel at the hospital, that's how they named the babies, Sarah suddenly fainted in the hallway. The doctor who helped her told the couple the amazing news. Sarah was pregnant. The couple tried to explain that it was impossible and that the doctor was most likely mistaken, but he showed them the test results. There was no mistake. The blood work showed that the woman was definitely pregnant. No one expected such a turn of events. The couple's relatives even hinted to them that they should go back on the adoption while the babies were still at the hospital and haven't grown attached to the couple yet. But the young parents immediately rejected this option. "We will raise 4 children," Andy said. If only he knew the truth. When she was 4 months pregnant, Sarah had an ultrasound and called her husband immediately after. Without even waiting to hear what Sarah would say, he asked, "So is it a boy?" He really wanted to have a son, and that's not surprising as many men hope for a successor of the family. In response, Andy heard his wife's excited voice. "Well, how should I put it? Yes, it's a boy." Andy couldn't understand why his wife was being so mysterious and got worried. "Is something wrong with the baby?" he asked. "No, everything's fine," Sarah reassured him. "It's just that it's a boy and a girl." That's what the ultrasound showed, and that's why Sarah was so excited. After all, they've been running around like crazy for the past 3 months with the triplets, and now they were going to also have twins. "Don't worry, honey, we can handle it," Andy said joyfully into the phone, which felt really reassuring to his wife. But saying it is one thing, while actually handling it is something very different. They named the twins Andrew and Abigail. Can you imagine having 5 children? It's like an actual kindergarten at your house. As Sarah later said, "We had to change nearly 300 diapers a week, and we rarely slept more than 3 hours a night." Nevertheless, the couple considered themselves the happiest parents in the world. After all, a year and a half ago, they were childless and hopeless. But when they agreed to take the triplets into their family, the universe rewarded them with pure happiness. But if you think that's the end of this story, then you're in for a surprise. 2 years later, Sarah got pregnant again and gave birth to another child, a boy named Caleb. When people asked them how they were going to manage 6 children, the couple only laughed in response. Andy used to say, "How hard could it be to have just one newborn baby? I now have 5 assistants at hand." It was when these 5 kiddos were little and helpless, that's when I really felt what it meant to be a father. But we've got to give credit to our friends and acquaintances. Each of them tried to help us in one way or another. Both Andy and Sarah were unanimous in their claims that they don't regret anything. If they knew the future and had to go through it all over again, they would do everything exactly the same without a moment's hesitation. Maybe some people feel jealous of this happy family, but I have to be honest. Andy and Sarah truly deserved this joy of life. So whether you believe in miracles or not, they do happen. And this story is the perfect proof of that. Friends, that's all for today. Like the video, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.